Hey guys, how's it going? Well, we're back once again. I don't know why my light is on, but we'll just deal with it. Hopefully you guys can see me okay. What am I doing after the last few updates? And guys, I'm sorry I'm a little behind the times. We're a little further ahead in what the videos are showing because some asshole broke into my truck and stole my phone and I lost some of the footage. So I'm just gonna basically take the time and show you where we're at with this truck. And as you can see, we are in the middle of the body work right now. Yeah, we got a lot of work to do. Basically, mechanically wise, like I said, engine's in, running like a top. We fixed, well, you guys did see some pictures of it. And we fixed all this up here. This was all rough. We still got to do a bit more sanding and stuff yet. And yeah, and then get her sanded down and get her ready for prep. But we're just trying to smooth out some of the areas right now. But it's coming. Like I said, you can see the full update of the front end. She's going to be a pretty sweet ride. He's going to like this truck when we're done with it. God, I can go back and remember when I had my first 7.3 liter. And I tell you, it was a proud day for me. And Blaker, he has worked on this thing night and day. He's done a lot of the sanding himself. He's feathered out a lot of the areas. As you can see, he's done this all himself with the guidance of myself and my licensed day mechanic that's here, Darcy. And I look at it this way. If he builds a truck on his own, which he's doing, he's going to learn, he's going to appreciate the vehicle, he's not going to go out and burn the tires and be a complete moron like some of these other parents out there. And you might not like what I have to say, but I'm a believer if you build it, you'll appreciate it. If your parents give it to you, you're going to beat the living shit out of it and you're not going to care. And if you smash it up, oh, that's okay, my mom and dad will buy me a new one. No. I like doing it this way. That way he sees what goes into this truck, how much money goes into this truck. And then he learns to, well, you know, I spent all this money, I better not beat the living piss out of it. And we did. He's done it right. It was a complete frame off. He's done all the frame underneath. He's painted everything. We blasted it. The only thing we're doing right now is we ran into a small issue. The box that was on this truck was to the point where it's absolutely shook. There's no rebuilding it. So a buddy of mine might have found a box for it. So here's to say that we'll have one here in a couple of weeks, I'm hoping. And I've talked to a few of the other Southern guys, but that kind of scares me a little bit. Because I asked them, they're Southern boxes, where are you getting them from? Oh, they're coming out of Texas. Well, this is my problem. I know half of Texas was underwater not too long ago. And they had a thing on W5 about all the vehicles that were down at the racetrack down there that insurance companies basically written off because of salt water. And they still want big dollars for these things. And as I said to a guy down in Michigan, I said, well, the thing is that bothers me is they were sitting in salt water. And I said it'd be the same effect as what we have up here in Canada with salt. And within a couple of years, they're done for because they've actually been saturated with salt water. So that's my biggest issue, why I won't buy one. As soon as they said Texas, I went, shit, no thank you. Because some of the stories on YouTube that I actually had watched just completely blew my mind where dealers were buying a lot of these trucks and cars up and getting them all ready, and then this company would go in and start investigating because of the VIN numbers and stuff like that, and it's a big mess down there. A lot of fraud. Especially when a customer thinks he's getting a fairly decent deal and then starts having electrical problems down the road and realizes that he has a saltwater piece of shit that should have been in the scrapyard or parted out. But that's another issue, is salt water. And I know what salt does to a vehicle. I'm in Canada, Ontario. And it's a brand new vehicle. Within 3 years, if you don't look after it properly, they will be eaten and look like shit. And so it's very, very critical up here in Canada that you really look after your vehicle from the first day that you buy it. And my new 2017 Ford F-250 come right out of the showroom, and everybody says, oh, it's aluminum body. I don't give a shit if it's aluminum body, whatever body it is, it's still going to get oiled. And being that I don't really drive it in the wintertime, it's put away in storage. I'll bring it out in the spring again. But yeah, it's a big investment, especially for me owning that truck. And it's the first brand new truck I think I've ever owned. And I want to keep it for a long time. So, and my Dodge is the proof. I oiled it every year, power washed it, re-oiled it, power washed it, re-oiled it. And when I sold that truck, there wasn't a spot of rust on it. The guy that bought it from me couldn't believe it. And he got himself a good truck. And some days I really miss the old girl, but compared to then and where I am now with that new 2017, there's no comparison. There's none. Power-wise, it would eat it for lunch. Fuel mileage, it would eat it for lunch. Just a lot of things that Ford did that were absolutely incredible. Like a great big truck like that, getting that kind of fuel mileage. It's getting almost the same fuel mileage as that my 2016 Ford Escape. And I don't know if it's going to focus in. Maybe. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's my runabout for the wintertime. And then we still got the good old truck that we built last year, the Ford F-250 with the 5.4 gas-guzzling pig. But you know what? She might be a gas-guzzling pig, but she is one hell of a reliable motor. I like it. But other than that, we're coming along with Blake's truck. As you can see, we got the back end all fixed. Now, I know it kind of looks kind of punky back there, but it's all welded straight across. But you know what? I'm not going to do a lot of body back there because by the time you put the box on, you don't see it. My main concern was all the rust in the holes down here. So what we did is the old cab that I had, I cut the back out of it and then basically cut the bed out of it and pieced that in. And there it is. But yeah, it's coming. We're getting there. Like I said, the next step is the box and finish up this and get this thing prepped to go down to my buddy's place for paint and all of that fun stuff. But other than that, mechanic's all done. We just dropped the interior last night, and it's going to be all done. It's going to be all black leather with tan stitching. And that's a nice thing when you're in the marine business. My guy that works for me doing all my interiors and stuff, and there's some of his work right there. This boat came in July, and what happened is the customer put it away wet, and this thing was so badly molded with where the white is. And like I said, Lenny, that's factory. That's better than factory from the day that it came here. And just an outstanding job that my guy does. And he takes the time. And he's been doing it for 40 years, so he knows his stuff. But what happened was the guy he put his boat away wet. And I mean sopping wet. And it molded. And with vinyl, mold starts from the inside and works its way out. And when that happens, there is no cleaning it. There is no cleaner in the world, steam cleaning, whatever you want to do. It will not take it out. So basically, we had to rip all the interior out of it and start over again. So, and these jobs aren't cheap. They're not cheap. 90% of the labor was getting this stuff out of the boat, because when a brand new boat, this is a 2016 boat, if you can believe it, and it's an absolute mess inside. is, like I said, if the guy would have looked after, dried it out, then put it away, he wouldn't have had this issue. But the problem is with the new boats today, the interior is installed on the top deck first, and then the two sections of boat are put together. So getting to some of the bolts on the back side to get these pieces out were a royal pain in the arse. But we got them out. There's always tricks to the trade, and I've been doing this for 30 years now. So we'll get him back together, and life will be good. Hopefully he's learned his lesson, because like I said, it's not a cheap venture. Now, we're a hell of a lot cheaper than what other people do, but this is what we specialize in, is boat restoration. And mold is something you don't want to mess with. You don't want it, especially when your kids are in the boat and they're sitting on it, they're getting it on their skin, they're getting it on their hands, they're putting their hands in their mouth, kids are getting sick. And that's how it all starts. So we eliminate this problem because this gentleman has grandchildren, and we don't want them to introduce them to that kind of stuff, because mold can make you terribly sick depending on what kind of mold you're dealing with. So there's another trick of the trade, guys. When you're putting your boat away in the winter, dry it out. It's like owning a tent trailer. Dry it out completely. Anyways, enough of that. So anyways, that's where we're at with this thing. We are getting there slowly. It's Christmas time, and Merry Christmas, everybody. Monday is the big day. And like I said, all my kids now are grown, and my oldest son, David, they just bought their first house, him and his fiance. And it's, man, where does the time go? I'll tell you. Just one day they're young, and my youngest son, Blake, that's taking this truck, he's counting his days. Every day I wake up, he says to me, "Oh, 29 more days, Dad." Today it was 28 more days. So he's going to go on January the 8th and write his beginners for his license. And I've already signed, he's already taken driver's training, so life should be pretty good. But at least he built the truck, put the time in it, and when this thing is done, she is going to be one sweet ride again. And as far as I'm concerned, you can't beat the 7.3. Longevity, reliability, you just can't beat that engine, and there's no emissions on it. But the only thing he did do, which I don't know if I agree with, but you know what, it's his truck, he can do whatever he wants. He got a new exhaust tip, and he's proud as shit of it. I think it looks a little big, but he thinks, it looks good, Dad. He put the old 8-inch fart cannon on the back of her. But each and everybody to their own. At least it's not blocking the whole truck out like some of these newer ones. I like seeing a little bit of chrome. A little bit of pizzazz is what I call a little bit of classic truck. There's nothing better than chrome, as long as you look after it. But anyways, guys, that's where we're at, and I'm sure we'll be making a few more videos before Christmas and after Christmas. But if I don't, and I apologize that I haven't been able to make any more, I just, with my wife breaking her leg and everything else, it's taken a lot of my time. She's doing well, by the way. We went down and seen the specialist 3 weeks ago, and they've given her 50%, 50% that she can actually put weight on that leg. So she's getting around a little bit better. She's not wheelchair bound anymore. She's not as cheerful as what she was 3 weeks ago. And if you know what I mean by cheerful, that's about what it was. Tell her Merry Christmas, she'd swat you with something. But anyways, yeah. So that's where we're at, guys. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And like I said, when we get a few more things done, we're definitely going to make videos on it. Like I said, guys, I just haven't had a lot of time, and Definitely did spend a lot of time. Blake, we rebuilt this engine. I don't know how many hours me and him and Darcy spent side by side building this thing, but she's built from the ground up. Everything inside this thing is new. And when that boy seen this thing start up for the first time a week ago, I was even excited because I just could not believe how this thing fired up. I was just tickled to no end, knowing that we did a good job. So, anyways, guys, like I said, please comment, rate, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Cheers.